Will
Who's
Custis.
got the pitch?
I got it.
Got it, Will?
He can remember the words.
You need just to remember two.
We're
Ready?
live.
Okay. Morning, everyone. Call this meeting to order. We'll begin by asking Supervisor Wern to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Supervisor. Okay, we'll move into our next item of business, call to the public. Anyone out there want to address? Seeing none, we'll move into our next item of business. Item number 2. Public Health Service District. The Board of Supervisors will convene as the Board of Directors of the Greeley County Public Health Service District and will reconvene as the Board of Supervisors following consideration of this item, the consent agenda. I entertain for motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as listed.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. So ordered. We will now reconvene as the Board of Supervisors and we'll move into our next item of business, the Flood Control District. The Board of Supervisors will convene as the Board of Directors of the Greeley County Flood Control District and will reconvene as the Board of Supervisors following consideration of this next item, the consent agenda, and I entertain for motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as listed.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. We will now reconvene as the Board of Supervisors and we will move into our next item of business, being Marshall Lehman. The floor is yours. Information and possible discussion only, Duncan Valley Foundation, County Fairgrounds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, my name is Marshall Lehman, and let me give you the standard disclaimer. Although I am a lawyer, I am not appearing here as a lawyer advocating on behalf of anyone. I'm here as a volunteer for the Duncan Valley Foundation. A little bit more about me just before we get started, because it gets relevant downstream. I practiced law in Arizona for over 50 years. I've done all kinds of transactions, deals, real estate deals, development, residential, commercial, industrial, land acquisition, land disposition, putting deals together into good times, taking them apart into bad times, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what gets me to this place is this started on November 1st of 2024 when County Manager Derek Rapier conducted a public hearing in Duncan at the Annex, explaining and describing the plans that the county had for the redevelopment of the county fairgrounds. There were about 40 or 50 people there, and it was well done. And I have to compliment Derek on the job that he did in the presentation and what he had to say. And as a result of that meeting, a number of us got together, Duncanites, and formed what we roughly call the Duncan Fairgrounds Redevelopment Citizens Council. And we've been working with the county, mainly through Supervisor Wern and the county administrator, ever since that time, in working with the redevelopment of the county fairgrounds. We refer to it loosely as a public-private partnership because from the get-go, we've recognized, the county, speaking through the supervisor, has recognized that there are there are things that the county, first of all, the property is a county asset. It's owned by the county. We're private people, so that's why we refer to it as a public-private partnership. There are things that the public, that is to say the governmental entity, the county, is required to do, wants to do, and there are things that it either can't do, doesn't want to compete with the private sector, and Supervisor Wern and we have been very respectful of that line, where that line is drawn and where it should be drawn. And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself now, but the object of my meeting with you today, coming here today, is to not ask for any action for today, but to inform you about what we're doing on the, what we call the private side of this equation, to work with the county to make the Greenlee County Fairgrounds more of an asset than a liability. What we're working on is making it, and again I'm getting ahead of myself, so it's usable not just during the county fair 1 week out of the year. What we're talking about is events throughout the year, and I'll get to that a little bit later. Before I do that, though, let me back up and sound like the Duncan Valley Chamber of Commerce for a minute. In my opinion, Duncan is the prettiest little place on the whole Gila River watershed. And as I like to tell some of my friends, yeah, and then they put the town there. But people don't realize this. You know, Duncan is known for one thing, it's floods. And the reason it gets flooded all the time, driving, if you look around, driving from any direction into Duncan, you got to go down. Duncan is in a hole, just like Clifton, actually. But why was the town put there? It took me a long time to figure this out, because that was the lowest spot on the river, and that's where the wagons could cross. And that's why Duncan gets flooded all the time. That said, Duncan is, like I said, one of the most beautiful little spots on the entire Gila River watershed. I was going to read, because I'm running out of time, I think, some things that David Yetman wrote about Duncan as a young man. I'm going to make copies of this for you rather than read it into the record. We'll do it that way. Okay, that said, so when we met in November of 24, we in the private side said a few things. First, we want to see the fairgrounds become self-sustaining. We want whatever happens it to speak to the culture of the county. And we want it, and this is where I come in more than anything else, we want it to be a catalyst for some economic development of the Duncan Valley. And that's where we are. So we have formed this nonprofit, and we are in the business of organizing. We now have an acting board of directors of 5 people. One of them is here. Gail Hackney is here with me today. I'm one of the other directors. The others are, at the moment, Dale Sloan, James Hughes, and Josh Gigantino. We're working on increasing that. So what's the point of my being here? We want to really alert the county to the fact that we're working together in basically a handshake deal. We, on our side, are planning all kinds of events. So, I mean, I'm talking not just rodeos, barrel racing. We're talking about tractor pulls, car shows, mud bogs, et cetera, et cetera. One of my favorites that I've just started working on is to bring to Greenlee County a charreada, Mexican vaqueros. And I'm working with somebody that you guys probably know, Ernie Calderon. Ernie's going to help me make this happen. So that's a week-long event. And we want it to be, one of them to be, in the Greenlee County Fairgrounds. Those are the kinds of things we're working on. Those are the kinds of things we're going to come back and talk to you about. But at this point, all I wanted to do was inform you about what we're doing, and that we'll be back at some point asking for the board's input and decision-making on however this rolls out. Okay? That's about it. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Very informative.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
We
of that?
can't.
It's in discussion.
Oh, it is
Yeah,
discussion.
It's an
Yeah.
agenda item.
Well, I do have a question, and Derek, I have a question for you. That if a nonprofit, starts and they're dictating events at our facility, are they carrying the liability rather than us? I know that, we got into mud bogs and other events and things and insurance and that, for the county side was just beyond what we thought was reasonable. But if a nonprofit holds an event at our facility, then they are carrying the liability and not the county. Is that correct?
Correct. There are several models out in the state of how you mix that liability coverage, but certainly if a nonprofit, comes and says, can we use the facilities to put on these events?
Right.
Then yes, there'd be a liability sharing that would lie primarily with the nonprofit. Mud bogs are one of those that are particularly onerous because we can't even get it if we wanted it as a county entity.
Right.
But yeah, those arrangements can be made in various respects, depending on the event and how it's organized.
Okay.
Yep.
Good deal.
A very legitimate question, Mr. Supervisor, and those are the kinds of things that we're anticipating running into.
Right.
And the more they're talked about up front, the less there'll be problems. That's really our point in being here.
Good deal. Well, I wish you luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for visiting.
Okay, we will move into our next item of business. Bianca, Elections Director. Floor is yours.
We have the primary election on July 21st. The office of precinct committeeman positions are up every 2 years. For a bit of background, precinct committeeman is a party position that represents a recognized political party within a precinct. We currently have 6 precincts in Greenlee County. The number of precincts, the number of precinct committeeman seats in each precinct is based on the number of registered voters in that precinct, in that party. Under statute, the board may cancel the election for these positions if the number of individuals who file nomination papers is less than or equal to the amount of precinct committeeman seats, which then they would be deemed elected. And that is the case this year. We received petitions from a number of candidates that is less than or equal to the amount of those seats. I did include in your packet a list of candidates who did file their nomination papers, petitions for the write-in nominations. And then I also put in those vacancies for each precinct for that party. And I can answer any questions you may have.
Either one of you have any questions? Bianca?
I have a question. So so based on this information, I noticed that, on the Democrat side, it's, like the blue
Yes.
and Morenci, but there are more, so there are no Republican ones there, and it shows, ones that are number to be elected, but so those aren't filled at this
No.
point?
Right.
So that's the less than, so they're
Yes.
just openings, and they're trying to find those? Okay.
Exactly. So those, so individuals who haven't filed for those precincts, they would be vacant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you'd still even on the Democrat side, you'd still have one open in Clifton,
Yes.
because you've got
Yeah, we only have
three
three. Mhm.
there. Okay.
Exactly.
But there are still some that need to be filled.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Campbell, on those, once the election period has gone by, the party chairman can then nominate, as we've done recently. And so those could be filled, but oftentimes they're left unfilled for a long time.
Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure I understood the numbers.
Mr.
Awesome.
Warren, you have any?
No, sir, not this time. Thank
Okay. All right. Well, I entertain, you're done, right, Bianca?
Yes.
Okay. I entertain for motion.
Well, I move that we approve of the cancellation of elections for precinct committeemen, and to deem as elected precinct committeeman nominees who have filled nomination petitions or write-in nomination forms since the number of candidates does not exceed the number of vacancies, pursuant to ARS 16-410 and 16-822B.
And I second that motion.
All right. Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Thank you, Bianca. Okay, next item of business, Bianca again. Floor is yours.
We're bringing the tentative meeting dates back to the board. A few months ago, you approved the tentative meeting schedule that included several highlighted dates for the month of July and August because the primary election date was still uncertain. Now that the primary has been set for July 21st, we did adjust those days to accommodate the election itself, the canvass, and then our budget setting requirements. So the dates in July, we did suggest the 2nd and 4th Tuesday for the month of July. You'll see August 3rd is the 28th, July 28th and August 3rd are back-to-back meeting dates. That 3rd would be a Monday to set tax rates, and then that'd be the deadline to canvass the primary election. We also made changes to November and December.
For the canvassing and.
Yeah, so originally we had it set for November 3rd, which is the general election day. So we suggested November 17th, because we'd be able to canvass also. We would meet the canvassing of the general election on the 17th. So it would be one meeting in November, and then we did add one for the 1st, December 1st. If necessary, we usually have one meeting in December, and then we do have it scheduled for the 15th. And then a third meeting in December, only if necessary.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or concerns over the dates?
Nope.
There are none, I entertain for motion.
I move that we adjust the Greenlee County Board of Supervisors' tentative meeting dates and times to accommodate for new election dates and budget setting requirements pursuant to Arizona Revised Statutes 11-214.
I might add, as presented, just,
As presented by Bianca Castaneda.
I second that.
All right, motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Thank you, Bianca. Okay, we'll move into our next item of business. Tyler Attaway, Jail Commander, and Eric Ellison, the Sheriff. Floor is yours.
Morning, Chair, Board, Eric Ellison, Green County Sheriff. Don't look like Tyler Adderley, hopefully. But a little bit about item number 7. The Greenlee County Sheriff's Office is, our infrastructure and our radios is just, they're old. A lot of them are 15 to 20 years old, and the infrastructure's just not there. They're not holding up anymore. And so we reached out to the United Way, and we were able to obtain a $120,000 grant. It's not quite enough to get all the radios we were asking for, but it's a majority of them. We'll be able to get it with that. And this will be able to give all, just not just the Sheriff's Office, but EMS, gives them radios to be able to do their job properly, you know. And right now, we have a lot of dead zones and a lot of areas where the radios just aren't working. And this new radio that we're looking at is a Kenwood, right, Matt? And we've tested, I think we have 3 of them out there. We've been testing them, and they've done really, really well, which will help our radio infrastructure come back. But basically, we came here for a discussion and action on buying Kenwood radios.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or concerns of the sheriff in regards to
So it'll
this?
be seamless purchasing them. They'll be able to go right to work then, right?
Yes, we won't have to go out to bid. We have a state contract, and we should be able just to purchase them. And once they come in, we'll program them, issue them out to the deputies and EMS personnel, and be on our way.
I'd like to thank the Sheriff's Office for working and getting that grant too. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely.
That takes some extra work, and thank you for taking that.
I have, maybe I missed it or whatever, but I have one question. Is that $120,000 grant cover everything that you're gonna need?
Not quite. We were looking at close to 200,000 to do all the radios that we were looking at. This is what we received, which is, we're very grateful to get the 120. But yeah, it did the bulk of the radios that we needed.
Okay,
Is the remainder of those gonna be in the next budget session or discussion to have
It'll be in the discussion.
those replaced?
Yeah.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff, but I believe this will cover the critical needs for our patrol deputies, and there'll be a couple of extra, but there are other first responders that could probably use new radios. This does not cover them.
Correct. So this will do our first responders, EMS, and the other ones that we need is inside the jail, and they will not cover the jail.
Okay.
And those radios are a little bit cheaper than the ones that we have for the patrol and EMS, because they don't need the vast radio coverage in that little area like patrol and first responders need to have.
So we'll
Okay.
talk about that later.
okay. So I entertain for motion.
I move that we purchase, do we say permission? I move that permission be granted to purchase portable radios for the Sheriff's Office with necessary accessories, and 4 portable radios for the ambulance service using the $120,000 United Way grant from Aircom, a state contract radio supplier.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sheriff.
Yep.
Keep on with those grants.
Yep. Okay. Okay, we'll move into our next item of business. Derek Rapier and Renee Ontiveros, the floor is yours.
Thank you. We've talked several times about the secure rural schools. It was not authorized 2 years ago. They went back in the big beautiful bill and reauthorized it retroactively. We discovered something in that process, and that is that we did not receive SRS funds and use them for our roads. Our PILT payment went up by the same amount. And so, those who've been here for a while have seen this form before to distribute the SRS funds to the schools. What we've done this time is make a minimal, a nominal distribution to the roads department because state law requires that some of it be used on roads. But this will dramatically increase the distribution to local schools, all 4 of our school districts, and will not hurt us on the backside because we'll receive a larger PILT distribution. PILT is currently, and for the foreseeable future, fully authorized. It's formulaic, so we'll get that money there. We'll then just make a larger transfer to the road fund during our budget process. We expect another tranche this week or next week for the FY25, and we'll come back to the board with a similar thing. So our recommendation is that we change the formula distribution as outlined in the memo submitted to you.
Anybody have any questions or concerns about the figures?
So we're gonna get another payment when?
We had heard that it was distributed this week. We haven't
Oh, wow.
seen it, but we expect it this week or next.
So this is retro for 23-24.
Correct. This is, there's that strange things where the federal fiscal year ends in September, begins in October. Ours is, July to June. And so there's some lag there, but we received this about a month ago. And we wanted to make certain as much as we could that it would not negatively affect our overall road revenue. So, but yes, this one's 24, next will be 25, and then the following year we'll see
Right.
FY26.
Okay. We don't have to identify the amounts in the motion if we just say as presented.
As presented in the memo to you, yes, that'll work.
Okay.
Okay. Well, any questions or concerns?
No,
from
sir.
you?
No, Mr.
Okay, well, I entertain for motion.
I move that we approve of the distribution of the secure rural schools funds received for federal fiscal year 24, received in Green County in fiscal year 26, but as presented.
And I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Thank you, gents. Okay, we'll move into our next item of business. Tony Hines.
Mr.
Floor's
Chairman,
yours.
before he takes that, may I give the board a brief, we're gonna change the way we do things a little bit, with the board's permission. If I might share this real quick, you can stay there, Tony, it's not gonna take very long. In the bracket for purchasing between 15,000 and 100,000, this is what the language says. We must have prior approval from the board. In other words, we cannot purchase without the board's saying you can purchase. What we've traditionally done is go to the board and say, can we go buy these widgets? You say yes, and then we go get bids. What we've done this time, it'll show up with Tony and also with David, is we've gone and done the homework beforehand. So we're gonna ask for permission to purchase certain items. We will present to you quotes, written quotes we've received already, and ask you to make a purchase decision all at the same time. That saves 2 weeks to a month in our procurement process.
Great.
Just wanted to outline for you that we're gonna try to change that up.
Okay.
Being more efficient, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong
Thank
with
you.
that.
I agree completely with that.
Okay, Tony.
Morning, Tony Hines, Fleet Facilities Manager. So item A, we're looking for the approval of the vehicle auction list. Tingle Auctions will be handling the auctions again in Safford on June 6th of this year.
I move, you ready for a motion?
I am.
I think so.
Sorry.
I move that we approve the vehicle auction list as noted.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered.
Thank you. So item B, will be permission to purchase the sewer line project for the fairgrounds, where we're hooking up the quad 4, the playground area, also the restrooms for the arena. We'll have a restroom there, and then tying in the old restrooms that are there also, and continuing all that out to the main road where the main sewer line is for the town of Duncan.
Great.
And that we have through Sprinkler World, we have a quote for $16,303.59.
Does that include them delivering it to you?
Yes.
Great.
Any other questions?
I move
Real,
that,
real quick, do we, so we wanna say at this point, as part of this, who we're gonna award it to and the amount not to exceed, right?
Yes, and simply, the ideal motion would be that we move to give Public Works permission to purchase the items.
Right.
And to select vendor, whoever you select.
Yeah.
And accept their quote.
Okay.
So we name the vendor and name the quote?
Yes,
The
and it's
total amount, I
in the
think,
total amount, not to exceed.
yeah. Let me-
And that's the sewer line, right?
You ready for a motion?
I am, if you guys are ready.
I'm ready. Well, I move that we approve permission to acquire the sewer line materials and supplies to connect the ball field complex to the main sewer line, and as to, bear with me, gotta jump for another screen, to Sprinkler World out of Wilcox for the amount not to exceed $16,303.59.
And I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered and awarded. Okay, next item.
So we're on item 10A, would be the permission to acquire quotes and bids for the 4-H kitchen at the fairgrounds. So we'll do this individually. This will be just for the building, the kitchen building, to acquire quotes and stuff for that.
And as we talk about these, we're not certain where this will fall, whether it's into the under 100,000 quote range or over 100,000 bid range. Once we get a feel for that, we would then solicit bids if it's over the 100,000, our best projected, or we would solicit quotes if we believe each of these projects would be under 100,000.
Okay.
So A and B, A is to purchase this, or to get bids for the structure, and B is for the erection to put it together,
Correct.
right? Okay. Just making sure. Well, I move that we grant permission to acquire, or to go out to bid for the metal building to replace the 4-H kitchen at the fairgrounds.
And I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered.
For 10B, I move that we approve permission to acquire bids to assemble the metal building to replace the 4-H kitchen at the fairgrounds.
And I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Item C.
So item C would be to acquire quotes and bids for the replacement of the siding on the B and C building. Part of the project when we're doing the 4-H kitchen, which sticks out from the B and C building, is to replace all that siding along the side, including the siding around the office for the fairgrounds. So that whole side of the building will be
So you're gonna go from the office all the way
all the way down to the D
The
building.
Auction barn.
livestock
Livestock
Yes.
barn.
area?
Yeah,
You're gonna be replacing the doors too?
yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I move that we approve the permission to acquire bids to replace the metal siding on the east side of the exhibit buildings B and C at the fairgrounds as presented.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And the goal is to have that done before the fair, correct?
Yes.
Ayes have it, so ordered. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, yeah,
Yes.
one thing that we should have noted here, but this also is gonna be funded in large part by the United Way.
Way.
A grant that we acquired, working with the University Extension and the 4-H organization to get that replaced. That building's been an issue for a long time, this should solve it. So thank you, United Way.
Okay.
Anything else, sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Anything outside of that, would that be under ARPA funds, or we still got anything?
Yes, ARPA,
Yeah.
ARPA and our capital improvement, yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
All right.
thank you.
We'll move into our next item of business. David Manus, Public Works Road Manager.
Morning, everybody. I'm David Manus, Public Works Road Manager. My first discussion action is a follow-up from the meeting of 3/17 to go out for bid for the 3/8 fractured chips for our chip seal project. Originally, we had three players in the game. We had CKC, Tri-County, and F&F Construction. I got phone calls from CKC and F&F a week before the bids were due that they were unable to put bids. CKC had too much work with the new Safford project going on, and F&F felt like the project wasn't big enough for them to bid on it. So the only bid we got was from Tri-County, and their delivery per ton is $46.35, which is $1 and some change up from last year, so not a bad deal. Please keep in mind that they put a side note here that if diesel fuel exceeds the price of $6.50 a gallon, price is subject to change on this. So, I'm requesting permission to approve and award the bid to, Tri-County for the 3/8 chips for our 2026 chip seal project.
And are you proposing to buy it now so in case the diesel prices are gonna go up? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
When will they deliver? Next week?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Good move.
Hold off on the war for at least 24 hours, right?
Yeah, diesel fuel's not over $6.50 yet, is it?
I don't know, I don't buy diesel, I'm curious.
And remember, they put this bid in a week ago, right? So,
What's
All right.
diesel at right now? Mr. Manus, what is diesel at right now, do you know?
At the pump? Yeah, $6, yeah, at the
Okay.
pump, yeah,
Well, let's hurry it up.
$6
yeah.
should be all right. We'll talk to Reed, tell him not to raise his prices though.
Okay, well, I entertain for motion, so we can.
Can I ask a question really quick?
Go ahead.
Mr. Manus, so I showed that the delivered per ton, how many tons are we looking to get?
We're looking at about 300 tons.
300 tons?
3,000, I'm sorry, 3,000 tons. 3,000 tons.
3,000?
Yes, sir.
So $18,000 for delivery, yeah, okay. I entertain for motion.
Do we need to name the price here on this one?
No, as presented.
I agree.
Okay, so I make a motion that we approve the award to bid of the 3/8 chip seal project to Tri-County Materials,
As presented.
as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and second. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay, Mr. Chairman Gomez, with your permission, with your guys' permission, can I switch B and C and go to C first?
Absolutely.
Please do.
Okay, discussion action regarding permission to acquire shade structures for the existing horse stalls that we purchased last year at the Greeley County Fairgrounds. We went out and got quotes from several companies. The paper that I handed you guys from Seven Peaks and Strand Industries were the main two competitors. Last year, we purchased 28 horse stalls. This year, we're requesting permission to shade those horse stalls from last year for the price of $16,092. So requesting permission for approval on that one. 1st.
And would that be just the shade for last year's stalls?
Last year's stalls, that's the
So
shade.
the
for-
stalls are already here, we're just getting the shade for
We're
them.
just getting shade for them. We purchased them last year.
Can I
Okay,
ask a question real quick?
go ahead.
Where are you getting the 16 from? What I'm seeing is the
Right here.
28, oh,
It's that one there.
That second,
Up on the
second
top.
row down,
oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's from Seven
It
Peaks.
says on their shade for horse stalls purchased last year, the 28 stalls.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what was attached in the thing. And it shows
That's why he gave
the
us.
shade,
this, yeah.
okay, we're good.
And those are the stalls you can move around, right? They're portable?
sir.
Okay.
Mr.
All right.
Chairman, maybe to clear this up, the shade from Seven Peaks matches the manufacturer we got them from last year. Our recommendation is gonna be to go with Seven Peaks again, is it not?
Yes, 'cause
Um,
their overall cost is lower to cover the old stalls from last year. And my next line item that I'm gonna talk to you about too as well.
So if, depends on how you wanna break it up, cause you'll see under the chart that, Mr. Manus gave you this morning, that the total price of $49,149.57 is shade for all of the structures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And so if the board were to go with Seven Peaks to buy the new horse stalls as well, then you could make a single motion to cover them all with Seven Peaks shade as well.
Okay. And not to exceed that amount regardless of what the price is. Okay, got it.
So the 49,149.57 covers the shade for both.
For
The new
all, the
and
new
the
and the old.
Yes.
Is
right.
that right, David?
But this motion is just for, cover the shades for the existing.
For the existing
Right.
stalls.
And the reason I was reading it differently was because they only quoted 2 of the 10 by 10 at 1596, but you had done the math to get to the 16092. Okay.
Okay.
So quick question at the motion, then do we
That figure there not to
use
exceed.
a 49,149.57 for this motion?
Yeah, not to exceed that
Unless you
amount.
don't buy stalls in the next motion.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
All right, I entertain for motion, if we got it clear.
I move that we grant permission to acquire shade structures for existing horse stalls and proposed new horse stalls at the fairgrounds for the cost of $49,149.57.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made in second. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, I'll call for vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, David.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manus.
Did you want to go back to
Buy the
D?
extra stalls?
Well, he said he included it.
That was the
He
shade.
quoted
for
the
both.
shade.
Shade.
The 49 is the full amount. With the
Yeah,
stalls.
yeah.
The stalls and
Yeah,
everything.
with the stalls. Yeah, it's covered.
Well,
So
we'll-
he approved the 49,000 for the full
So we
amount.
covered,
In that motion, call
Okay.
so that was a
stalls.
twofer then, so I go,
Yeah,
And new stalls.
yeah,
Two stalls.
yeah.
Do you want to direct the clerk to clarify that in the minutes, that it is for new stalls and
Yes,
shade?
yes. As
Despite your
presented.
Administrator's best efforts to confuse you.
You did a good job on that one. It confused us a
we
little
need to do
bit.
that again when we're approving things.
That's why I said, is there any further discussion? I heard none, so it went.
Moving on.
It
Thank you
went
very
right.
much, David. Thank you for your effort.
David was
Thank
so
you.
fast at getting back to his seat. I'm like, hey.
said yes to my 49, I got it all.
All right. We'll move into our next item of business. Derek Rapier, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Recall that in response to some of the audit findings from the year before, the board gave direction that I draft some policies that may help us clarify some of those things. For example, we had a discussion with the auditors and they asked, what was the public purpose of taking a legislator to dinner? Which I became slack-jawed and thought, really? But we didn't have a policy on point. And so I drafted 3 policies per your previous direction that would address some of the issues that have come up. I'm certain I can throw them up on the board if you wish to, or answer any questions about them, or simply let you sit on them for a couple of weeks and decide what direction you want to go. I've run them past our county attorney. He's given me some great just practical advice as well as a legal review. But those are the policies that we have. The last one, the travel policy, again, we ran into a situation where our policy says that employees can stay at a conference hotel within reason. And it became a little bit of a disagreement about what reasonable meant. And so in an attempt to try and put that decision on the person whose budget is going to be affected, this policy suggests that the elected official or department head who's approving the travel also then approves that they get to stay at the conference rate or not. So,
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
No,
I do not.
I think we talked through that, so that's great.
All right, well, you're done, Derek?
I'm done unless you have questions for me.
They don't, so I entertain for motion.
I move that we approve of the new policies or policy revisions for the 1, lobbying and government relations, 2, licenses, certifications, and credentialing, and 3, revised travel reimbursement, as presented.
And I second that motion.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Thank you, Derek. Okay. Next item of business, Derek Rapier, again, and Bianca. Floor is yours.
I will keep this brief. There's nothing really new to report on. They've reached a point in the legislature where the governor has said that don't send me any more bills. I will veto them. And so they don't. They're not sending any more bills. They show up sometimes for a half a day or an hour, sometimes a day and a half, and then they all go home. And so we're in that waiting phase. Supposedly the House and the Senate are negotiating. I hear mixed signals about whether they really are. But nothing's going to really happen until somebody comes up with a proposal for a budget that they can start to, agree on. So there's nothing really to report there. I'll keep this brief. You're very familiar with this chart. You'll see that in our state shared sales tax revenue was high again, 609. That trend that you see beginning about a year ago has led us to do some revisions in our forecast for next year's budget. And you'll see that the average for this last quarter over here is as high as it's been in 3 or 4 years. On the whole, this combined with this county shared sales tax, county half-cent sales tax, would leave us with a revenue surplus over projection of about 1.7 million. County sales tax has remained steady. It was higher this last month than any other period in the fiscal year, but certainly within range. Like I say, we're only just shy of 50,000 above our projected revenue. This revenue stream has held quite steady this year, more so than it usually does. But we have not revised our projections for next budget year, but because of the sales tax increase, we're looking at probably revising that up.
To what?
I think we've talked about 550. And
Pretty aggressive.
what we will do is there are some relief valves on the expense side, so that if that projection is not met, we know exactly where to either stop spending, not spend, or cut, and it would not affect day-to-day operations.
Because last year we were at 425. Well, this last year, 450 we're at now, right?
Correct, in the current year.
Year previous, we were at 425,
Correct.
right? But we're thinking about, in my head, I was thinking 500, right, is where we would go, so 550 is pretty, I mean, I guess the trend shows that, so.
Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to shrink that. I was gonna bring up another calculation. Yeah, our trend over the previous 12-month period has been 577. And you'll see, you can see from the state shared sales tax that is trailing up. So the trend setting lower was a year ago.
Yeah.
And so,
But we're still building the budget off 500.
Off the what?
The
550?
budget, we're
Yeah.
gonna build it off 500.
Oh,
500.
okay.
so that excess revenue, if it comes in,
Yeah,
would be available, but if it doesn't come in, it's not gonna hurt, like I say, our operations.
That's what I was worried about, that's, you know, going to 550, but if we're using the 500 number, I think that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay? And that's all I have.
All right, Derek.
Bianca with the
Bianca,
calendar.
you're next. Floor is yours.
She's already talked about the calendar.
I
huh?
did. We could skip it.
Yeah, we can. We can. If there's not anything, if you guys don't have anything to add to the calendar
I do not, Mr. Chairman.
No, I don't
at
either.
this time, okay? Well,
Great.
easy peasy, we'll, get out of this item and move into our next item of business, the consent agenda. I entertain for approval of the consent agenda.
I move that we adopt the consent agenda as noted.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, so ordered. Okay, we'll move into our next item of business, supervisor reports. Want to have anything to report?
I don't have anything to report at this time.
Real quickly, I'd just like to report and thank the county employees and those working, the county managers or county department heads for helping us at the fairgrounds and for moving as fast as we are. We've had a very successful Little League season, and it appears that we are going to continue the momentum at the fairgrounds. So thank you very much to all of you for keeping that going and keeping on our projected plans to meet our plans for next fair. Thank you.
Okay.
Keep moving forward. Yeah.
I really don't have anything to report. I attended the Eco and Small County Forum this week and CSA, and I guess at CSA we had guest speaker Clint Chandler from ADWR with some very scary news about water. So we have to keep an eye on that for sure. And that's about it. That was the highlight at that meeting. So that's all my report that I have to report on. And if there's not any more business, this meeting is adjourned.
Okay. Thank you. Good work.